colors. And then I just wanted this pop of something bright on this side to highlight this figure. And this one is sort of, facing the opposite way. And those clouds, if anyone has ever practiced meditation, they talk about your thoughts being clouds going away. So if you ever want to lower your blood pressure, take a meditation course, because you can learn to just, okay, a thought's going, just gonna let it float away. So I have, this one is a lot more of a personal piece in a way for me. I used like a little dot thing, like a cork or something, to make these, so it's like a little stamp. I used liquid watercolors, which is the reason that it feels, and I'll talk about that, so it feels watercolory. This one doesn't look like heavily painted, but it is actually, the entire surface is painted. I added something, I drew on it with Inktense pencils and markers and sprayed it, so you've got this kind of subtle thing. But the transformative thing on this piece is, go to the other side, is the quilting is so much better. Okay, the quilting, also during lockdown, I accidentally bought a lawnmower. I don't know how I did. I went into Sewing and Quilting Center with Teresa, and I was just looking, and then I thought, I think I'll just get a lawnmower. And so
we're forced.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened, but it came to my house. And so I was able to do something, wider and bigger. So that is another step up that I took. Now, when you're looking at this, you see the level of stitching that's on it. There is a lot of stitching on this thing. And the stitching for me is, I am doing some motifs, but for the most part, I'm doing what I kind of call contour stitching. So you can see her face. You can see her hand. You know what I mean? You can see, because I'm going around those objects. And then I do some fills in here, but for the most part, I'm really going around it. And I'm using thread, so when I'm doing this, and I'm gonna just fold this over, even upside down, we're gonna fold it in half like this. So you can see that adding that polyester kind of, picking a thread color that's slightly fluorescent. The other trick is you may want to pick a thread that has a slightly bigger stitch length. So, normally in quilting we would do 12 stitches per inch, but in art quilting you're drawing. So your stitch length might want to be like 8 stitches per inch, because first of all, it's very dense, so you don't get to, in quilting you want the thing to hold together. You want it to go on and off the bed. Well, this isn't going on and off the bed, but you want to have that, and so you get that. The other thing too is that, like, this is a deep navy, it's not a black. Black is a dangerous color, because black will just go right for the black. So I tend to choose colors that are just shy of black. Deep brown, a navy, charcoal, exactly. So that we have something like that. So that's another part of the art form, is it's digital, it's painting, it's stitching, it's all those things, that amalgam of things. So anything is up for grabs.
On the back of that, it looks like all one color thread. That's your bottom.
I do that.
And then you use a different color
on the top.
So
There are two reasons for
that.
it. One is I'm lazy, and I don't want to take those little bobbins, and put, how they have the little bobbin things and everyone matches it. The other reason I do this is quilting through a painted surface that this is linen cotton canvas, is that if you get your tension right, you won't see that, and you get the right gray. It's got to be a blendy gray. So a blendy gray thread is very important. But I find that works better. The other thing too is I find that pre-wound bobbins have saved many a problem. Pre-wound.
Where do you get those? I mean, it's not.
Superior Threads, you know, when they used to be here, and I'm still, well, I know, but they don't have their warehouse, okay, they don't have their warehouse. I think I mourned for many months because it was great, you could walk through there, it was great. But pre-wound bobbins is what I've used. Daco Bobs has pre-wound bobbins. Now I use M bobbins. Okay, so I have a big bobbin because I've got big machines, okay. They also have pre-wound bobbins in the smaller domestic, which I think is an L. And you can buy them online. But I found that pre-wound bobbins have a consistent thread tension that I can't get in my bobbin winder. I have a caveat on that bobbin winder thing. My Bernina seems to wind a really good bobbin. But on my long arm and my mid arm, pre-wound. Yeah.
Do you use a long arm? See, one thing that fascinates me, I'm an oil painter, but I'm fascinated with textiles.
Okay.
And what fascinates me with is when you have those little circles that create such texture, and I see that you literally go around.
Yeah, I do.
So are you using your long arm? Because that's kind of stiff fabric. It's not like you bunch up all your fabric to.
When you're doing this, when you're doing all these little, which we call the motif,
Right.
okay? Okay, when you're using a mid-arm, you're not moving your tool, you're moving your canvas, right? When you're using a long arm, you're moving the tool and you're drawing. So it's a different motion and it takes a different skill set. But with a long arm, I'm a one-handed long armer, okay? I go like this. When I'm on my mid-arm, I have a hoop, those things that hold it down, huge difference. Because I really have control of my fabric. On the other hand, with something when I get bigger than this, is that the mid-arm is just a little small, ergonomically. And I had that moment where I accidentally bought that long arm, so I figured I'd use it, but that is it, yeah. So you are drawing, and you are doing that, and it becomes, it's like anything else, it's practice, it's muscle memory, and you just get it. I mean, you should see some of these traditional quilters, who, some of their patterns are just like, wow. Okay, so let's go grab this one, and then I've got one more, and this one is, this one I did have some bobbin tension problems, and I found out it was my machine's bobbin spring was bad, but I don't care. Anyway, this one is also a photo collage. So we were in Hawaii, and we happened to fly in on the day where they had that horrible rainstorm where everything flooded. Just my luck. So the first day, all the beaches were like yucky because they get all that stuff coming in from the storm. And it was still a little bit rainy, so we went to the aquarium. And I took all these pictures in the aquarium. And then I went and I put them in layers, like you can use Photoshop Element. You can also use Procreate. And I just layered this together and then put my diver in the center. And that is painted, and this one is painted a lot with some fluorescent kind of fun colors because I wanted, and I put some glittery stuff in it because I wanted it to have that feeling that you're looking in an aquarium. And so that's that. But you could see on the back, the quilting is good, but I have all those eyelashes on there. And that was the spring in my bobbin. And this is what I feel about things like that. I don't care. If it bothers, you know, if I was selling this, I would simply put a backing on it. I would just put a backing on it, you know. If it's going to a quilt show, they're just gonna be horrified. The quilt police would be horrified. but this is a piece of art, so that's what I do. Okay. All right, so let's talk about painting. Okay, so we got 2 minutes and then we're on our next section, I hope this is okay. All right, when